maybe we could share how we met. So this night I jumped in the car with some friends. I went down to the Gold Coast, and Aaron was we both went to this place called East, which was like a restaurant slash nightclub?
Restaurant slash club, yeah.
Yeah, so it was a restaurant in the evening and then returning to a nightclub. And Aaron was there with his friend. He was all dressed up in a suit, looking spunky.
That's right, I had a job interview that day somewhere.
Yeah, I had this dress on and, as I said, the big hole in my tooth and the worst Australian accent you can imagine. But I was down there having dinner with a friend. We had this like big round table, and she had all of her friends there who I didn't know. I met them all in the night. She had a modelling agency, like a talent agency, and some of these people were associated with that agency, and they were down there for a night, promotion night for one of her talents or something. So anyway, we're all sitting around there having dinner, and then one of her friends, who I'd never met before, she comes up to me and she goes, "You should go talk to that guy. I've been watching him and he's really different." And I sort of looked at her and I said, "Sorry, I'm not here to pick up." I was so scarred from having a boyfriend. I was healed, but I was like, I just want to be on my own for a while. I don't want a boyfriend right now. And she goes, no, honestly, just go talk to him. I've been watching him. He's different. And it was, you know how you have those moments in life where it's so odd. You go, I kind of can't ignore this because it was just so unusual. It must be the universe or something. So God, whatever. Like it was just odd. So I was like, okay, I'll go talk to him.
It's all coming back to me now.
Me and my infinite wisdom was trying to think, as I was walking down the stairs to the bar where Aaron was standing with his mate, I was trying to think to myself, what do I say to him? I don't know what to say. And I was like, okay, there's a drink on the bar in front of him. I know what I'll say. So I walk up to the bar and Aaron's sort of standing there with his mate, and I sort of walk up and I'm standing next to him and I sort of look over and I went, "Is that your drink on the bar?" What did you say?
I said, yeah.
And I said, "Oh, okay." You said, "Why?" And I said, "Well, you shouldn't leave it unattended like that. It might get spiked." I don't know. It was the worst pickup line you could ever imagine.
It was so bad that I was immediately intrigued by this woman that was saying this to me. I was like, who is this girl and why would she say that to me? That's the craziest pickup line I've ever heard.
And then he kind of just looked at me oddly and went, "Thanks for that."
I did too.
And I was like, what do I say now? They're all like close-ended questions. Questions that are ever going to spark a conversation. So I was like, what do I say now? And so I just looked at him and I said, "What are you guys doing here?" And I think he said something like, "Having a drink."
I was very...
Where is this going? And I was like, okay, whatever. I ordered my drink and I kind of just walked away. Went back to the table and she goes, "How did it go?" And I was like, "You don't want to know." And then left it at that. And then I needed to get another drink a little bit later, so I went back down to the bar and we struck up a conversation by this point.
Third time lucky.
Third time lucky. Yeah, you were just like, "This chick's relentless. Let's see what she's all about." So
I was intrigued, definitely intrigued.
We struck up a conversation and Aaron told me that he surfed, and I was totally into surfing at this stage because I'd been trying to learn, but I just couldn't get down very often. Another story, but I actually had my car written off because I was teaching a friend how to drive and she had a car accident in the car and nearly the car T-boned me. Anyway, we survived. The car got written off. Another story for another day. But this is why I wasn't able to surf very much because I didn't have a car. So anyway, when he told me he'd surfed, I said, "Amazing, can we go for a surf?" And he's like, yeah, sure, that's fine. And I said, "What about tomorrow?"
No, actually, you didn't. She didn't say that right there. She said, "Cool, can we go surfing?" I said, "Yeah, for sure, we can go surfing." And you were really starting to grow on me by then because I knew there was something so totally different about you that I'd not like experienced in another girl before. Because just the way that you were so forthright and like outgoing in the way that you were in your approach, and like quirky as.
With an Ocker accent and missing too.
Well, it was really, really quirky. So,
and he says to me, "What do you do for work?" And I'm like, "I'm a butcher."
Which is great. Which is great. But when you said to me, when she said, "Can we go surfing?" I said, "Yeah, for sure." She went, "Oh, cool, that's awesome. Looking forward to it." And then...
Well, then I wanted to go dance. So I handed him my wallet and I said, "Can you hold my wallet?" And Aaron was like, what? Like, what girl asks you to hold her wallet? No, I didn't care. I had no money in it. I was like, what's he going to steal my key card? I didn't care.
I still remember it was one of those old surfy wallets with rip curl on it with the Velcro. So it had like the Velcro and stuff like that. And it was definitely like an older used wallet. And I was like, wow, okay, I'll hold your Velcro wallet. Let's do this.
So anyway, I gave him my wallet and I went and danced for a while, and then I think Aaron was wanting to go, and so he came up and danced with me for a little bit, and then he goes, I'm gonna bounce, I'm gonna head off, and I was like, okay, cool. I'm super excited to go surfing, and he's like, yeah, awesome, and I was like, tomorrow, and he goes, okay, I've got the day off, sure, that sounds great. And I said, sweet. And in my mind, I already had thought we were going surfing tomorrow. I've got this unique ability to connect dots that don't exist. So
when you say you're going to do something, you do it right now.
Yeah, I do it now.
It's happening now.
Action. Yeah.
Take action.
Next day. And so anyway, Aaron's like, okay, cool, where are your friends? And I was like, oh, they've gone. And he goes, what do you mean they've gone? And I said, well, we're going surfing tomorrow. And he goes, but that's tomorrow. And I was like, yeah. But aren't I staying with you because we're going surfing tomorrow? And he goes, why would you be staying with me? He didn't know at this stage I lived in Brisbane. So
the way that you positioned it was hilarious because it was 1:30 in the morning. Like I'd had a couple of beers, like I wasn't drinking, and
you didn't know I lived in Brisbane.
And I came up to her and I said, look, it's 1:30, I'm hitting the road. I said, here's your wallet back. And then I looked around and she's sort of like on the dance floor, like dancing around and stuff like that, having a good time, but I couldn't see any of her friends that were there. And I said, where are your friends? And she said, oh, they've all gone home. I've gone, okay, well, are you okay to get home? She goes, and she didn't say anything. I said, well, I'll pay for a cab for you to get home.
No, this is because I said to you, we're going surfing tomorrow. I thought I'd stay with you. And you were like, no,
yes, that's
tomorrow.
Right.
And I was like, oh, okay. And he goes, I'll pay for a cab for you to go home. And I uncontrollably laughed.
I remember.
He was like, why are you laughing? And I was like, it's going to be an expensive cab ride. And he goes, why? And I said, well, I live in Brisbane. And you should have seen the look on his face. It was like, oh my God.
So the Gold Coast to Brisbane. Yeah. The Gold Coast to Brisbane's around probably about an hour and a little bit. So it would have been a very expensive cab ride.
Yeah, $200 and something at the time, I reckon. So anyway. I was just giggling. I was like, well, as far as I'm concerned, we're going surfing tomorrow and I'm going to crash on your couch so we can go surfing
that was the plan. So anyway, long story short, I said, okay, I'll drive. Let's go.
So we stayed at his house. It was completely squeaky clean. I just crashed there.
But I still remember like coming in because this is the funny thing. Because you'd have a couple of drinks by then, right?
Yeah, I was pretty drunk.
It's just like, it's my style. Like I'm not going to do anything with a drunk girl I've just met. This is how I am. Anyway, we walked in the front door and I've got my surfboards in the entrance as you come in and like wetsuits and stuff like that because it was winter.
Yeah, it was winter.
I remember it was winter. It was in July. So then I remember her eyes, like your eyes lighting up as you walked through the door and you saw the surfboards and the wetsuit and I said, here's yours for tomorrow. And you were like, get in and try to put it on at like 2:15 in the morning. It was hilarious.
I laid my surfboard out. I laid Aaron's wetsuit out.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, look at the size of his shoulders compared to mine. I would have drowned in that thing.
You did.
I couldn't wear it. It was too big. So anyway, the next morning we got up and we went to go for a surf and there was no surf. I'm talking a lake. It was so flat. And so we were like, oh man, I was so G'd up and pumped for this. So instead we went for breakfast. And so we went to this little restaurant called 123 that was in Broadbeach. We had breakfast there. And that was when we really got to know each other. Like we were talking a lot about like our likes, our passions, our music, our families, all of that kind of stuff. And although Aaron didn't grow up a Jehovah's Witness, he did grow up a Roman Catholic, and so we had that in common as well.
I could just see, like I could see the values, like in you, like I could see the really good core values that like I immediately became attracted to.
Yeah.
The quirks and all the other stuff, I was like, whoa, this is weird. But like the values shone through, and that was what really attracted me to you.
Yeah. Anybody listening to this who knows me, they'd just be laughing right now going, yep, that's totally
her.
Jade. But anyway, Aaron then, being the massive heart that he is, decided he would drive me all the way back to Brisbane because he didn't want to put me on a train. Being a romantic, old school romantic you are. So he drove us all the way back to Brisbane and we pulled up into the driveway. And I remember on the drive back thinking to myself, I've never met anybody like him. Like, I actually think this is the one, but you know, you don't want to get your hopes up. You sort of, you kind of think, oh no, don't be silly. Like, I've only just met him. So anyway, you kind of reserve judgment, but I honestly thought, I think I might have met the one. We pulled up into my driveway in Brisbane, and then all of a sudden I realized, oh, and he goes, what? And I said, I don't have keys. And he goes, what do you mean?
I've left my keys inside.
No, I said I didn't bring them. I went with my friends. They had keys.
That's
and he's
right,
like,
I remember.
oh my God, this girl's a hot mess, honestly. So
you asked me to break into the house.
I did. I said, can you break into my house? And he goes, how do you expect me to do that? And I said, well, I've got a plan. Around the back,
done this before.
Around the back, I used to have birds. I had these Indian ringnecks. They're a beautiful parrot, but I had an aquarium out the back. And so I said to Aaron, you have to jump up on top of the aquarium and climb in through the bathroom window, and then you can come around into the front and unlock the front door. And he's like, okay, all right, seems simple enough. So we went around the back, jumped onto the aquarium, opened up the bathroom window, came down through the bathroom.
I'm laughing inside. Let me tell this part because it happened to me. So I need to put you guys into my shoes. So I've just met this girl the night before. She's asked me to, if my drink was spiked, she asked me to hold her wallet. Then she said, she laughed at me when I said I'd shout her a cab ride home. She lived in Brisbane, and then expected to stay with me to go surfing the next day. So put yourself in that position.
Then I expected him to break into my house.
And then after I drove her back up to Brisbane, we really hit it off though, which was cool. I'm climbing up this bird cage on the side of this double-story old Queenslander house in Brisbane. And then I make it through this little, I see this little toilet window. So I get the window and I sort of, it was open, I think.
Yeah,
it was open.
I
had to push it up, that's right, a little bit more. So I'm trying to squeeze my shoulders into this little window, which would have been about that wide. So I remember putting myself in like this, and then and I saw a toilet that was beneath it. So I've got my hand on the toilet bowl, lowering myself down. My legs are dangling out the window.
Yeah, hand on the basin.
Hand on the basin. So my hand's on the basin, one's on the toilet, balancing, I had no hands spare, right? And then I got to quickly tell you a quick pre-frame story about the next thing that happened, because I love dogs and we've got a dog. I've always had dogs growing up. However, I'm really scared of small dogs. And the reason being is because my nana had this little tiny Jack Russell Terrier, a white one, which is the only dog that's ever bitten me. And I've got a scar on my hand here from it, from one day where it just went bang and bit me. So I've had a real scare and a real phobia about little dogs. Jack Russells in particular, white ones in particular.
Guess what I had?
Guess what Jade had? And guess what I met as I've got my leg dangling out the window, one hand on the toilet bowl, one hand on the basin. I hear this panting. I look up and there is this little white devil in front of me.
He wasn't a devil.
To me it was.
His name was Charlie.
He's a great dog, but at the time I was petrified, right? And I had, I've got goosebumps talking about it now, because I had the fear run through me, which made me freeze up. And then I looked up and it locked eye contact with me. And then I looked at it and I said, good boy. And then it started wagging its tail and started panting. I was like, oh my gosh.
He licked you to death.
He came up and licked me on the nose. I lowered myself down, went into the house, unlocked the door. I was like, oh my goodness.
Before he unlocked the door, he got lost in my shoebox of a house. I'm standing on the front door knocking and he's at the back door and I'm going, I'm at the front.
Couldn't find you.
It was hilarious. By this stage, we were absolutely hooked on each other. We were like, this was such a good 24 hours.
It was pretty eventful, wasn't it? It was exciting.
It was. So anyway, we kept swapped numbers and we decided that we were going to go on another date, and that was nearly 11 years ago now. So it was a while ago. But I'll keep Aaron here for the rest of the story, because he's been here for the whole journey in terms of the rest of my story as well, and how it led me to being, the entrepreneur I am, the wife I am, and also
lawyer,
employee I am,
accountant, business owner, great friend to so many people, great wife. You're amazing.
So we started dating for a while. I moved in within 3 months. I left Brisbane. I'd never lived with a guy before, so this was the first time. I knew within 3 months I had to be with Aaron. So
I think the toothbrush came within the first week though. The toothbrush that ends up in the second hole there when you're a bachelor. That's what happened within the first week.
But it wasn't like, I was just so genuine and carefree. I was like, well, I'm thinking logically, I'm going to be back, so I don't want to forget my toothbrush. I'll just leave it here. I even sent Charlie down there to stay for a week to make sure everything was okay. I was like, if Charlie can survive a week, maybe I'll survive living with him. So
That's
anyway,
right.
he was living the full bachelor life.
Within a week.
Kangaroo steak and pineapple juice only in the fridge.
I remember all I had in the fridge was kangaroo steaks and pineapple juice. Because I remember the morning that we were, the morning you stayed over, the first time you stayed over that night we just described, in the morning I said to her, would you like some breakfast? I can cook. And she said, yeah, sure. So I went to the fridge, I don't know what I was thinking, opened it up, kangaroo steaks and pineapple juice. And I said, do you feel like kangaroo steaks and pineapple juice for breakfast?
No, I hate meat. I don't like the taste
So
of meat.
so we went out.
Anyway, fast forward a couple of years. I was working at Woolies still. I was managing the different departments. I think I was managing the deli, the meat section, the perishable section as an assistant manager. And I was getting really restless and bored. And the reason that actually sparked me becoming a lawyer, we were talking about this yesterday actually on our drive up to Binnaburra. There was one moment that was so significant that kind of changed the course of my life.